And new this morning here, police investigating after a pedestrian was hit and killed by a car in the San Carlos area. This happened just after 1 a.m. in the 8700 block of Mission Gorge Road. You can see the damage to the windshield there. Police say the 31-year-old driver was going westbound and hit the pedestrian who was walking on the road in an extremely dark area. The pedestrian died at the scene. Police say alcohol was not a factor. Thanks for being here at 6 a.m. on this Friday. I'm Eric Connors.
And I'm Netta Irampour. And this morning we are working for you to clear up confusion that you may have on your energy bills and your water bills.
That's right. We have team coverage on this. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol is looking into issues with water bills. But we begin with Chris Groh live at SDG&E headquarters with the federal money available to help pay for the energy bills, but only if you qualify here, right, Chris?
Yeah, and we are going to get to you those qualifications because it hits a number of different factors. It could be how much you owe on your utility bill, how past due you are, and then, of course, income qualifications. But this money is actually sourced federally. As we pointed out, it's about $7 million specifically earmarked for ratepayers in the state of California. Now, it's going to expire in June, so you're going to want to apply for this if this is something that potentially might hit you. This might actually, actually solve some of the problems of the bills that have hit you here in January. Now, if you're a family of 4 that make under or at $62,000, that's the type of income qualifications that we're looking at. Again, it's very low income qualifications. And again, that money will expire in June, so you should apply if you do qualify. Now, this is coming at a time where Governor Gavin Newsom wants the federal government to investigate why the cost of natural gas was so high. The San Diego City Council still has several questions, including why January's bills were so high and why SDG&E didn't do more to protect ratepayers from the high natural gas prices. And SDG&E says that the bills are going to be going down because of the market at play. But our reporter Kelly Hessedal did ask a spokesperson with SDG&E how can they ensure that this won't happen again.
I think that's a fair question. And the spike was directly attributed to the market. San Diego Gas and Electric does not control the market. The market is a law of supply and demand.
And according to SDG&E, about 25% of ratepayers are behind on their bills as of December. So again, that's not even taking into account January, where we saw those high bills. So there might be several people who may need to apply for this federal assistance. But as for the question of why we were seeing those high January bills, a local player here in politics, Carl DeMaio, may potentially have an answer for that. He and his organization are claiming that they've uncovered actually hidden taxes that may be the reason why we saw such high prices and what it added up to on a number of bills. They're going to be revealing a little bit more about their claims coming up at 9:30 today. So that's in about 3.5 hours now. And we'll be sure to cover that for you as well, too. Eric and Netta.
All right, Chris, from the electric bills now to the water bills. Have you checked yours lately? You may want to do that.
Yeah, this morning we're learning one man just got 10 months worth in just the past 2 days. Quite a shock to get that in the mail. CBS 8's Dana Marie McNichol working for you on this story, including how the city of San Diego is responding.
Oh, right. Well, we spoke to Ben Jerobi, who lives in Birdland. He says he's on the hook for more than $1,200 worth of bills. You may be wondering, okay, how did he not know his water bills hadn't been paid since April? He says his wife usually takes care of it, but having not received anything in the mail, she just didn't notice until a neighbor mentioned he too hadn't received a water bill in a while.
Why is the average $249 every single bill? You follow me? Something don't seem right with that.
Well, our reporter Shannon Handy got some of those answers. 4 of those bi-monthly bills arrived in the mail in one envelope. There were no late fees attached and no explanation. Jerobi wonders if his water meter is actually being read, telling us it's covered with dirt. So he called the city, but wasn't able to reach anyone in person. CBS 8 tried, and a spokesperson did tell us a letter was mailed out February 1st explaining the situation to him. The letter said, quote, the water meter was not in line with historic usage, so the system held the bill. The same occurred in subsequent periods. When the staff researched the account, it was clear that the water meter was misread. The team then corrected the misreads and released all of the bills. The meter is also on the meter replacement list as it is challenging to read. So when we asked if other parts of the city were impacted, the same spokesperson said situations similar to this can happen from time to time, but it's just not that common. Now, this isn't the first time the city water department has been under scrutiny. A 2018 audit revealed 2,000 customers received inaccurate bills due to human error, some of which involved employees guessing water usage without actually reading the meter. So this is just a good reminder for you this morning to keep track of those utility bills. Eric and Netta.
And don't forget, here at CBS 8, we are working for you. If there's an issue you would like us to look into, we love getting results for you. Working for you at CBS8.com.
And now take a look at this new video this morning showing dozens of people running out of this boat in Mission Beach. Authorities say 15 people jumped off the vessel. This was on Wednesday. Customs and Border Protection saying 5 adult male Mexican nationals were apprehended in this. Another boat washed ashore in Carlsbad all on the same day. Authorities found 17 life jackets on that one, but they did not find any people. New reports this morning that a Chinese surveillance balloon once flew over Naval Station Coronado, so here in town. The Pentagon neither confirmed nor denied those reports, but according to Bloomberg News, the flyover believed to have happened during the Trump administration. Meantime, the House just voted to condemn what it called China's brazen violation of United States sovereignty after the U.S. shot down a suspected spy balloon last weekend. This morning, China responded, calling the House resolution, quote, political manipulation.
New this morning, the Catholic Diocese of San Diego is considering filing for bankruptcy to help compensate victims of sexual abuse. This comes after California suspended the statute of limitations for victims of childhood sexual assault to be able to file lawsuits. The diocese will be sharing more information later this morning, and they will also provide a letter to parishioners during masses this weekend. And this morning, there is a new locker room policy in place at the YMCA in Santee in response to controversy surrounding a transgender woman using the women's locker room. The YMCA says public nudity will no longer be allowed in the locker room common area. The facility says it will also add more personal changing spaces for privacy. The changes come after a 17-year-old girl claimed she was terrified when she saw a transgender woman step out of the shower. This morning, we are hearing from parents concerned about claims of racism at Poway Unified. Last night's board meeting was standing room only, and several people spoke about the way children of color are treated at Poway schools.
Our son has been called the N-word. He has been bullied. He has been degraded. He doesn't even want to come back to this school next semester.
When will we stop dehumanizing Black children?
You've done nothing. And Phelps, this has been on your watch for years.
No action was taken because the issue was not on the agenda.
Another cliff collapse has lifeguards and city officials on alert this morning. Take a look at what happened here at the very popular Black's Beach, a great surfing spot, right? Well, look, yesterday afternoon, some of these boulders came crumbling down. This all comes 2 weeks after a cliff collapse near the same area. Nobody was hurt, thankfully. City of San Diego geologists have been notified, and thankfully that area, a lot of surfers, which means they're in the water usually, not quite hanging out right by those cliffs. Hopefully we've learned that it's not the safest thing to do. Stay far away from these tall, crumbling cliffs right there. Let's check in with Evan and see. It's going to be another beach day today, right?
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be along the coast. So again, you know to stay safely away from those cliff sides. Temperatures are warming their way up to the 70s yet again this afternoon. Offshore winds are very breezy, and that's where we're getting the warmth from. So live look outside shows it's still dark outside. Another about 20 minutes to 30 minutes before we start to see much of that light shine through. 72 along the coast, 75 for your inland valleys. Mountains are where gusts are the breeziest. That's where we're climbing into the 40 to 50 mile per hour range. East County is really where we see the majority of those winds. As we head toward the afternoon, we'll steadily warm up from where we are now in the 40s all the way up to the 70s, and it'll be the final day that we have this wind advisory in effect, and the final day that we'll see that warmth on hand. So this wind advisory expires at 6 p.m. with those speeds 15 to 25 miles per hour, gusts up to 50 miles per hour, only in effect for your inland valleys and your mountaintops. But you see how those winds are breezy right now in Julian, Sill Hill, and Alpine as we head through your morning. Take a look at the changes that we have on the way. No chance of rain today, but as we go towards Saturday and Sunday, we start to see that number change. A 43% chance of wet weather going into Sunday. We dry out for Monday, and then that chance repeats itself for Tuesday. Basically, what we're seeing on hand is that this ridge of high high pressure that has kept us warm and dry over the last several days is breaking down, and it's being replaced with two different disturbances that come our way. First disturbance comes early Sunday. Second disturbance comes on Tuesday. Along with that chance of rain, we're going to have a lot more cloud cover and much cooler temperatures. Take a look at what we replace the 70s with. We are going to peak at 59 degrees tomorrow on Saturday. Rain starts to move in on Sunday. We're expecting between 1/100th of an inch and 1/10th of an inch. So overall, these accumulations are rather light. It doesn't mean that you need to cancel your plans outdoors on Sunday, but it does mean to factor in the cooler temperatures, the cold breeze out there, and that chance of wet weather. Let's take a look at traffic as we step out the door right now. So far, things are light on the roads. We'll take you to Coronado, where there is a bit of yellow popping up, meaning speeds are down to the medium range, 40 or so miles per hour. Into Coronado, you're also slowing down quite a bit as you get off the bridge. So you can see that this is one of the areas that were impacted this morning. Very typical for this morning at this time. However, it looks like volume is really going to start to pick up over the next hour or so. We'll keep you up to date on any changes we see on these traffic maps. Netta, Eric, back over to you.